Have you ever found yourself standing in the checkout line with a shopping cart full of items you never intended to buy? Or perhaps you found yourself mindlessly scrolling through online stores, adding items to your cart without a second thought, only to experience a pang of regret when you see the final total. If these scenarios sound all too familiar, you're not alone. Impulse spending is a phenomenon that affects us all, driven by a fascinating, and sometimes treacherous, interplay of psychological factors. What is impulse spending? At its core, impulse spending, or impulse buying, is the act of making unplanned purchases without much forethought or consideration. It's that sudden, irresistible urge to buy something, fueled by emotions, desires, and external stimuli, rather than a premeditated decision based on rational thinking and financial planning. When we succumb to impulse spending, we're essentially giving in to the siren song of instant gratification, often without regard for the long-term consequences or whether the purchase aligns with our financial goals and values. It's a seductive force that can lure even the most disciplined shopper off course, leaving them awash in a sea of buyer's remorse and regret. The psychology behind impulse spending. So, what is it that drives us to make these spontaneous and potentially damaging purchases? The answer lies in a complex tapestry of psychological factors, a symphony of influences that can leave us feeling powerless in the face of temptation. Emotions play a starring role in impulse spending. Retailers are masters at creating environments that tap into our emotional states, whether it's excitement, stress, boredom, or even feelings of inadequacy or insecurity. They use tactics like enticing product displays, limited time offers, and cleverly crafted marketing campaigns to trigger our desire for instant gratification and that rush of dopamine that comes with a new acquisition. But emotions aren't the only culprit. Our personality traits can also influence our susceptibility to impulse spending. For instance, individuals with higher levels of impulsivity, a tendency to seek novelty and excitement, or a fear of missing out FOMO, may be more prone to making impulsive purchases, unable to resist the siren call of the shiny and new. Social pressure and the influence of our peers, influencers, and even strangers on social media can also fuel the impulse spending fire. We often make impulsive purchases because we don't want to miss out on a perceived deal, or because we're subconsciously trying to keep up with the proverbial Joneses. It's the virtual equivalent of peer pressure, but with a potentially disastrous impact on our finances. The consequences of impulse spending. While the thrill of impulse spending may be momentary, the consequences can be far-reaching and detrimental to our financial well-being. It's a siren song that can ultimately lead us to crash against the rocks of financial ruin if left unchecked. One of the most obvious consequences is overspending and deviating from our carefully planned budgets. Impulse purchases can quickly add up, leaving us with less money for essential expenses, long-term savings goals, or investments that could secure our financial future. It's like setting sail without a compass, drifting aimlessly and depleting our resources without a clear destination in sight. Impulse spending can also lead to the accumulation of debt, especially if we rely on credit cards to fund our impulses. High interest rates on credit card balances can quickly spiral out of control, creating a vicious cycle of debt and financial strain that can feel suffocating, like an anchor weighing us down and preventing us from making progress toward our goals. Moreover, impulse spending can result in buyer's remorse, that sinking feeling of regret and dissatisfaction that often sets in shortly after making an impulsive purchase. It's the realization that we've been seduced by the siren song, only to find ourselves stranded on the rocks of regret and clutter, surrounded by possessions that bring us little joy or value. This buyer's remorse can take a toll on our mental well-being, leading to feelings of guilt, anxiety, and even depression. It's a psychological weight that can be challenging to shake off, especially when the consequences of our impulsive actions are staring us in the face, reminding us of the mistakes we've made and the goals we've derailed. Strategies for overcoming impulse spending. But fear not, fellow sailors. While the siren song of impulse spending may be powerful, there are strategies we can employ to navigate these treacherous waters and regain control of our financial destiny. One effective approach is to set clear priorities and create a budget before entering any shopping environment, whether it's a physical store or an online marketplace. By defining your needs and wants and allocating specific amounts for different categories, you create a framework, a compass, if you will, that helps you resist the temptation of impulsive purchases. This budgeting exercise forces you to confront your priorities and make conscious decisions about where your hard-earned money should be directed. Another useful strategy is to pause and reflect before making a purchase. When you feel that urge to buy something, take a step back and ask yourself a series of questions. Do I truly need this item? Will it bring lasting value to my life? Does this purchase align with my long-term goals and values? You can even implement a cooling off period where you wait 24 hours or longer before deciding on a non-essential item. This pause gives your rational mind a chance to catch up with your impulsive desires, allowing you to make more informed decisions and avoid succumbing to the siren song of instant gratification. Embracing a minimalist mindset can also be a powerful tool in overcoming impulse spending. By prioritizing needs over wants and focusing on the value of simplicity, you can cultivate a more intentional approach to consumption. When you recognize that true happiness and fulfillment come not from material possessions, but from experiences, relationships, and personal growth, the siren song of impulse spending begins to lose its allure. You may even find yourself feeling liberated, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary clutter, and free to direct your resources toward the things that truly matter. But what if impulse spending has become more than just an occasional slip-up? What if it's a serious issue that's threatening to capsize your financial ship? In these cases, seeking professional help or joining support groups can provide a lifeline. Financial advisors can offer guidance on budgeting, debt management, and long-term financial planning, while therapists can help you explore the underlying emotional triggers that contribute to your impulsive spending habits. Support groups, meanwhile, can provide a sense of community and shared understanding, reminding you that you're not alone in your struggle against the siren song. Redefining your shopping narrative. Remember, every purchase you make contributes to the narrative of your life, a story that you have the power to shape and rewrite. By understanding the allure of impulse spending and the psychological factors that drive it, you can redefine your shopping narrative and become a more mindful, intentional consumer. Imagine yourself as the captain of your own financial voyage, steering your ship with confidence and purpose. You're no longer at the mercy of the siren song, but rather in command of your own course, making purchases that align with your values and long-term goals. Each mindful decision is like plotting a new course, charting a path toward financial freedom and a life of intentionality. Embrace the power you hold as a conscious shopper and celebrate the freedom that comes with breaking free from the cycle of impulse spending. With each mindful purchase or non-purchase, you're writing a new chapter in your financial journey, one filled with discipline, delayed gratification, and the sweet rewards of goal achievement. So, there you have it, a deep dive into the psychology of impulse spending and strategies for overcoming temptation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Together, let's embark on a journey towards financial freedom and a more fulfilling life, where the siren song of impulse spending is but a distant echo, drowned out by the sound of our own empowered choices.